Morning.
I'm just securing up Mom of the Year over here.
What?
I'm just securing up Mom of the Year over here.
Uh,
I just let him go off the ottoman again. I was literally sitting right here and like I had my feet up on the ottoman and he just like slid right through my legs. So at least he went feet first this time.
How are you feeling?
I mean, my throat still hurts, but much better.
Good.
I told Merrick he's not allowed to kiss Elliot.
Yeah.
I don't want him to spread his germs. And he goes, but Mom, how am I going to love him? He will know that you still love him.
So cute.
Well, how long do I have to wait before I can give him a hug?
That's so cute.
Can you hear that noise?
Yeah, what is it?
It's Lacey chasing her tail.
Oh, now that you say it, it does sound like a dog peeing.
She's such an idiot.
Okay, I'm gonna go say goodbye. I think we're gonna get a smaller crew today.
Lacey, stop it.
Oh, there's Shauna. Oh, tired today.
Me too.
I'm having a hard time lately falling back asleep when Eli wakes me up in the middle of the night. So like it was weird. Like he only woke me up once last 2 nights ago, but I was up for like an hour and a half. Like I couldn't fall back to sleep, which is not usually like me. And then last night it was the same thing. But
Yeah.
I'm super nervous because Annie messaged me after like seeing my IG stories about my infection on my face. And she's like, it's not pumpkin spice, is it? She's like, because it's the same time every year. But I'm like, I really don't think so. Because I don't drink it every day. Dan does, but I don't. So I don't know. And we had leftovers, so I was drinking it. We had leftovers, so I was drinking it like all summer. So I don't think that's it.
I was gonna say, you're gonna be allergic to pumpkin too.
I know. Well, that's what I was like thinking. I was like, I messaged her back and I was like, well, I don't drink a lot of pumpkin spice, but I do like pumpkin coffee, so that would kill me.
But pumpkin coffee is just like fake flavoring though, isn't it?
I think so.
Well, so maybe you're allergic to like whatever additive is in the spice, not actually like pumpkin itself.
Yeah. All right. Give it a couple more minutes. Oh, hi, Elliot. Will he go back to sleep after this, or does he? What's his morning schedule?
We are not really on a schedule yet.
Yeah, well, that's
and like I feel like I need to start like enforcing that so it doesn't get like out of control. He'll probably be awake for a little while and then he'll fall back asleep.
He's so sweet.
He is.
He's so cute. All right, we'll wait one more minute and then I'll hit record. I do
It
think
already says it's recording.
Oh, it is recording. Duh. I guess I forgot I set it up to automatically record because I was nervous. I would forget it. Oh, there's Kelly.
Relax. Okay.
Hey, stay back. Guys, I won a free box of pumpkin spice from Carl.
How?
He like reposted my, like, he's got like some contest going on right now that if you like post on your stories a workout clip and then you got to tag like the work is working and him, he chooses, it's like one of those things like if he chooses your story to repost. And he did last night.
Nice.
I know, but I want to do something with the box because I still have pumpkin spice. So I want to do something like for our challengers, maybe do something like use it. It's just a free box. I want to use it for something like to give it away to somebody, like maybe not the whole box, but somehow do maybe some type of challenge for it.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the peppermint mocha.
Oh my gosh, the peppermint mocha sounds so good. And you guys, since we'll start hearing officially, but since I've been watching everything at Leadership, I don't know. I've seen the workout, this bar blend, and I'm excited for it. Like I know it's not a lot of people think that's not their jam, but like it sounds like KK, we're just kind of talking about some updates from Leadership. It looks like bar blend is like, she's saying it's not your typical bar workout. I don't know. I think I'm gonna really like it. I think it's gonna be exactly what my body needs after some intense program.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to it, but I saw like a ad for it or something the other day, and I was like, oh, maybe that actually does look good.
I saw some people doing it, and I loved it. I also saw that like her extras like affirmation cards, which I thought were really cool too. So I'm definitely gonna do that in the New Year. I think it's something. I think my body might need it after some intense workouts, like especially if you're starting the work on the 11th of November, taking you through Christmas. Who knows? Your body might be screaming.
Yeah.
Pushing.
How's that program going, Krista?
The work is good. Dan and I'm bummed because Dan and I wanted to do it together, like literally together, and we are, but not at the same time. Like we've had to adjust to like the season of the year it's just on, and it was more stressful trying to like one of us has to be upstairs. It's more stressful for us to be downstairs, especially during such an intense workout. So it's good. I mean, like I have to modify, but not a ton, but like I am modifying, but I'm still working out. I'm using my 3 pounds like all the time. My 3-pounders, and I like him. Like I really enjoy him as a trainer. The moves, there's a lot of moves so far that are like those time under tension. So they're like slower moves where you're holding, which are hard. And sometimes I find myself getting bored, like my mind wanders a little bit when we're doing slow workouts like that, but it's really good. And it's hard. I mean, the people are right in there, like struggling right alongside you, but
Kev swears at it every morning.
Yeah, I do too.
He's doing it while I'm doing mine, and he says it's such a good workout, and he loves the trainer. He gets a kick out of him. He says he's hilarious.
He is.
But yeah, he said it's hard. He said, "Good luck, Kate." I was like, oh, thanks.
And Dan said that to me last night, and I think this is why Carl retweeted my story because I posted it on there. Dan was like, "You might as well skip today's. It's like just so hard. It's like basketball type moves. You're never going to be able to do it." And I was like, "What?" So it's hard, but like, we're ready. Like, that's the thing. Like, it will challenge you, but I feel like it's supposed to challenge you. There are moves, like, there was one day that I modified almost every single thing, but I still feel like I'm working at the end of the day. Like, I still feel like I'm getting a really great workout in. I'm lifting like 80 or morning meltdown 100. I told Dan, I said, I'm so glad I did that before the work, because I'm lifting so regularly that like you're only going to improve upon that. But I think I went so long without lifting because I was like a T20 junkie, Transform 20. And so I didn't really use a lot of weights for a while. But I think you'll like it.
I'm scared, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, and it's something new. And I think anytime something new and different is really, really helpful. And what I like about the schedule, Kate, is you've probably seen it then, is like each week's not the same. Kind of like Morning Meltdown 100. Like, it's almost like a 2-week cycle, not like every week. So
did you guys talk about the new boxing program?
No, we hadn't gotten there yet. So
I'm pumped for that.
I know. So many people, I think, from Morning Meltdown 100, the Fight Club's their favorite workout.
I don't know that I'd say it's my favorite. I'm not, only because I'm not coordinated with those moves, but I enjoy it because I get a kick out of myself every morning I do it.
Well, that's a really good core workout. Like, I remember thinking when I was doing it, like, okay, well, if I'm not going to do it 100% correctly, I'm at least going to make sure that I'm like working my core. So I'm excited for that too.
Kev's excited for that one too. He actually said, I'm going to kick your ass, is what he told me last night.
Dan and I did Core de Force together when I was pregnant with Emma. So we haven't really done it since. So I think I was just going to pull up on one other thing.
I like how it has lifting mixed in with it too, though. Like, it's not just the fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was just the fighting, I don't know that I'd be excited for it.
Yeah.
All right. So some of the other things that are coming so far, and then we'll get started. This was posted in one of my groups. It's 4 weeks of the prep, a 4-week program to help you get ready for 6 weeks of the work. So that's cool. Actually a 4-week program, not just like 4 workouts. That's January 6th. Bar blend that we already talked about. And then 10 rounds with Joel Freeman. And one of the cool things that they're doing, you guys, and I know this can be frustrating for some people. I hear it from discount coaches usually saying that like they don't want to purchase the program. And so typically they just wait until it's uploaded on BOD. They have made a change that like 6 weeks of the work. So MM100, for example, if you bought it in, July you bought it, and then it was uploaded like very quickly, like 2 months later. We weren't even done with MM100 and it was already uploaded. They're making that window bigger because it's really not as fair to the people who have purchased it. If 2 months later, they're going to get it uploaded for free. So like the works, if you didn't buy it and buy it now, you're not going to get it till April, which is a much bigger window. So for example, the works or 10 rounds with Joel Freeman, it's March 9th, and you're not going to actually get it uploaded to BOD if you don't purchase it early till October. So it's a bigger window. I also see the benefit in that because of the accessories. Yes, you can still buy it anytime in between that, which is why it's the accessories. I feel like people who didn't purchase like an MM100 pack, it's fine, but they're not getting that book. They're not getting the accessories with it because it's just automatically uploaded. So I think it still gives them a little bit of a push to do that. So they are making that window bigger for us. And then another new thing that's coming, and I haven't read too much into this yet, but it's called the Monthly Fix and a 2B Mindset and the monthly membership. So two new customer, continuity programs. All customers have the chance to get a free month access to one of these nutrition programs. So either the Fix or 2B Mindset. starting in December, and then they can pay for it $19.95 a month. So they don't have to buy the full year subscription in a challenge pack. They can actually just buy a monthly subscription to both of those. I'm sure what they're thinking of doing then is they're probably going to grow those two programs, and there's probably going to be new things offered if they want you to keep buying it every single month. I'm sure there's going to be some more things offered to that, but we'll get more information. I'm not sure on that, and we can come as we go. So two things that I wanted to talk to you today about, and then if there's something that's on your radar that you want to chat about, will you type it in the chat, or if there's something that you're thinking about, just so we can have like a running kind of list of what we want to talk about this morning, so that we're not here all morning. Just type it in the chat. I know Amanda said she wanted to talk possibly about like a system for tracking our current challengers. So we'll make sure that I have that on the list already. But one thing I wanted to share with you guys is, I know we're all here to obviously help people, but we also are here to earn an income. And we're just really, really, really fortunate that that comes from helping people. So you have to have an impact goal, but you also need to have that income goal. And I was on a mentorship call the other day with Summer Tucker, and we were talking about personal volume and really being familiar with your own personal volume. So how much you have every single month as a way to grow your income. Because a lot of times we need to have goals. We have to have concrete goals. And SC, Success Club, should be a goal of yours, because if you're doing the tracker and you're consistently doing it month after month, it's going to come. And but we need to have a goal in mind. It's not just enough to say, I want to help 5 people, because what does that look like? How are you getting closer to that? And so I want to help you set personal volume goals for the month, so that you can really go into your back office and see what that looks like. It's very easy to see which products, how much volume they have. I don't know that offhand. I know Shakeology is 90, and that's about all I know. But it's very easy to be able to check the box, and every month go to your list and say, okay, this is how much volume that this person has. So I want to help you do that. And before we dive into that, with that said, you guys, October is a hard month. We all thought September was hard. October is notoriously hard. I'm sitting at SC4 for the month with very few active conversations, or meaning like that look like they're leaning towards that. In September, I felt like half of the invites I sent, so maybe like 50%, which isn't really maybe a good number. Maybe it was more like 60%. I felt like 60% of the invites I sent at least got, yes, tell me more information. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, I have people in the pipeline. They're talking to me. We're setting goals. October, it's like crickets every day. Not necessarily for my connects, but my invites. So one of the things that Amalia says, and one of the reasons I really like him as a trainer too, is what he says to his people. It's just, I'm hearing it differently. I'm hearing it a lot like I hear Shaun T, and I didn't hear Autumn like that. Like, I never really heard her like this, but I hear him like I hear Shaun T, just speaking life into you. And one of the things that he says is when he's working out, he's like, are you starting to burn out? Are your legs on fire? Is it getting hard? And they're all like, yes. I mean, they're screaming at each other. And he's like, yes. And, they say yes. And he's like, that's when you keep going, because the magic doesn't happen until you hit that burn. And when you hit that burn and you keep on going, that's when you start to see the changes in your body. Just like we tell the challengers, if it wasn't hard, we'd have to find you a new program. It's supposed to be hard. That's when it happens. So I'm hearing crickets, like not even no's, I'm hearing crickets all day long. We've had a great October, right? Like the daily polls, you're checking them off, you're showing up. If you stop now, again, that's not where the magic happens. So October doesn't end after October. It goes into November and it goes into December. Because remember, you didn't commit for 30 days. You committed for 90. You committed for the rest of the year. Because that's when the magic happens, you guys. I am very blessed that I have been so consistent, and that some of the seeds that I have planted throughout the last 4 years bloom when I'm having a slow month, or bloom when I think that nobody's going to talk to me. They reach out and they say, hey, I think I'm ready now. Like, that does actually happen sometimes. So please do not think that this doesn't work. Please do not think I've had 19 days of consistency, or, you know, working 5 days a week, and I'm at SC0 with nothing to show for it, and my paychecks are garbage, and it doesn't work. My last 2 weeks paycheck were less than usually 1 week combined. But I don't let that get me, because I know that. Like, I know that October is usually like this. And I also know that that magic happens when you start to feel the burn. You don't give up. So keep that in mind as we move forward into the rest of October and then into the rest of the year. But let's talk about personal volume goals. Today and this weekend, you guys take time to unplug. Like, if you need to catch up on your tracker, I know I have a day's worth of invites and 2 coach invites that I need to send. Those are going to get done today. But besides that, take time to unplug. You will start to resent this business, and you will start to not enjoy it if you feel like you are glued to your phone the entire time. If it's 11 o'clock at night and you're exhausted and you haven't checked into the challenge group yet, don't. Or go find your people and go comment and love on them. That's why we're a team. And if we're all checking in there, somebody else has helped you. We can't rely on everybody else to do it for us, because I do see, you know, I see Kelly, I see you showing up every day, girl. You are awesome in there. But, you know, if we're doing it as a team and it's 11 o'clock at night and you're burnt out, it'll be okay for you to skip a day. But take this weekend to really recoup. You've got to put your phone down, and that's something that I'm learning, because I'm not good at that, because I like it so much. But they will wait. The people on the other end of the phone will wait. And you'll experience the burnout, and you'll experience the resentment. And I said on a call the other night with Morgan, if you were on, that, you know, we got called out by saying, like, well, what are you doing on, you know, for 4 hours on your phone? You say for 4 hours you're scrolling your phone, and you're telling your husband you're working the business, and you're really not, right, for 4 hours. And then you're like, well, what did I just do for that period of time? And I said that because I think a lot of times our husbands don't understand clearly what we're doing. They really don't understand the entire coach business, right? Oh, Blippi, yep. Told you, girl. Blippi is a savior. Emma sings the dinosaur song every single night. So I think our husbands sometimes don't completely understand the business, and that's what they see, is they see us sitting on our phone like this, and they're like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm working. I'm trying to connect, right? Or I'm replying to this message. When maybe you really did just sit there for an hour scrolling on your phone, and then you use that, well, I'm trying to connect, but you didn't like or comment on anybody's stuff. And then they see you every night on the couch for 2 hours doing this, right? And then your paycheck doesn't reflect that effort. And so in turn, they're like, well, then it doesn't work. You've been working every single night. You're not talking to me, and your paycheck's not growing. Like, it's not working. So I think that's why I say to put your phone away sometimes and be very intentional with your work time. I can't speak for everybody on the call because I don't know, but I know that Amanda has gotten in there and has been extremely intentional the last couple of days with, like, busting out her tracker in like a half hour. Kate, I think you've had to become really intentional with your time, you know? And so I think I struggle sometimes when people say that I get it, fitting in your tracker is hard, but I remember folding up that piece of paper and putting it in my back pocket and bringing it to work with me and being so intentional when I had an extra 10 minutes and I was able to send out those 3 invites because I had my list already created as well. And my list was always, always growing. So when you're really intentional, you can do that tracker in 30 minutes. And by the way, that tracker is the number 1 thing that will continue to grow your business. Loving on your challengers and your current people is number 2. But those 2 things combined are extremely important. What happens when my business really slows down is I get out of phase 1. I get really excited, you guys, about creating a what the heck is an online boot camp. Like that kind of stuff for me is so fun. Planning team calls is so fun. Doing any type of organization for the team or the group, I love that because I'm an introvert. So small talk isn't really my jam. And I really want to get to know these people, but I don't want to just talk about what color is your daughter's, or, you know, like where'd you get your daughter's bow? Like that for me doesn't fill my cup. What fills my cup is like those deep conversations that take a little while to get there. But you've got to, but being intentional with your tracker is important, and you can get a lot done. And that's why sometimes I think I struggle with I don't have time to fit this into my business. And I think there are certainly seasons, and that's what's great about the tracker. Like I said, I still have a day's worth of invites and coach invites to send. So you can push that to the weekend. Susan, I saw, commented on our polls and said, you know, she was working three, I think like 12-hour days or long days. That is awesome that those are the days that she doesn't have to do it. She can shift it around, however that works. But being intentional is really important, and communicating with your spouse what your goals are, what your vision is, and why you're doing it. And then putting your phone down so that he doesn't see you glued to it all the time. So talk about personal volume goals. This weekend, I know I said I want you to unplug, and that's kind of how I got off on that tangent. What I would love for you to do is log into your back office on your desktop. And when you go to that home screen and you click volume, what you're going to see at the top is you're going to see your projected PV, which is your personal volume. But then you're also going to see that chart of your team volume. And we want to focus on both. Personal volume, you want to have a projected personal volume every single month. If you're an Emerald coach, what you want to shoot for. And I know some may not be there yet and you're growing towards that, but you want to have at least 500 PV a month. That's going to help you earn an income. When I look at numbers, I think, okay, how can we get our coaches an extra $250 to $500 a month, right? Now, obviously, some people have higher goals than that too. But if your goal is about $500 a month, you want to have at least 500 PV. My goal, to be honest, I just want to be completely transparent, is I try to shoot for 2,000 PV. Okay, so I tell you that because I want you to think about what your goals may look like. 2,000 PV combined with, we're talking PV right now, which is your personal volume. You guys, personal volume is what you're making from your own sales to just customers. Okay, so, and those can be reoccurring customers as well, not just like new customers, but people who have processed your orders. So paychecks are combined by personal volume and team volume. For, a paycheck, for a month's total, right? Months total, I'm trying to shoot for higher, and right now, right, but I need to be about 2,500. So for me, that takes a higher personal volume and a higher team volume. So I'm trying to give you those two very real and very vulnerably so that you can see what your goals are and find out how that aligns. But you should shoot for at least 500 personal volume, and then try to continue to grow that. The way you're going to continue to grow that is you're going to bring 2 to 3 new people in each month, and you're going to help your current people so that they are continuing to love their products and see results. So again, I would love for you to, by the end of the weekend, message me your, and this is not for judgment. This is for me to literally say, okay, this next week, I want to spend talking to you about an action plan, about how I can help you, because those goals are important. So 500 PV, and then you should be an Emerald coach, at least, and shooting to always be an active Emerald coach so that you can cycle in your team cycle bonuses, and adding 2 coaches a month. That is what my goal is, you guys. And I know it's not easy, right? But we're leveling up. This is my Rise Up crew. This is the Level Up crew. So this is the crew that's committed to spending the last 90 days. So I feel like I can say this to you. From here on out, our goal is to add 2 coaches. That is our goal. We are shooting for it. You tell your kids to shoot for the moon, right? Because if you don't make it, you'll at least fall on the stars, correct? Right? So we're not going to tell ourselves anything other than we're adding 2 new coaches a month, because if you fall on the stars, you fall on the stars, but at least you planted those seeds. And then we're going to focus on TV. So we've talked about PV, but now we're going to talk about TV. TV is really confusing, you guys. And I want to thank you so much for letting me fumble and letting me figure out what the best system is for our team, because the last couple months have been a season in Beachbody where people are moving away from Success Club and they're focusing on volume, and they're changing how they celebrate people. They're not just celebrating people for Success Club. So then I started celebrating people for Success Club and for team volume. And everybody's like, well, what's team volume? And where do I even find out? Well, you guys, I'm shifted back to personal volume. And here's why. And so that's why I want to thank you. This last month, we're celebrating, because it's already been done and I'm not going to ever do it over. For September, we're celebrating team volume and we're celebrating Success Club. But moving forward, we're going to be celebrating Success Club and we're going to be celebrating personal volume. Here's why. You can't see what your team volume is. I know what Amanda's team volume is. I know what Shauna's is. I know what Kate's is, because I can see it because you're a part of my downline. Just like Kate, you can see what Kev's is, or you can see what Steph's is. You know, you can see your coaches, but you can't see your own. So if you can't see your own, how do you have any clue where it needs to grow or what you're shooting for, right? So team volume is very important, but it's important because that's your team underneath you. So we're going to go back to PV, just because you can see your own and you should be monitoring your own, right? So you should be watching that now that we have this goal set. And that way, that's what we can celebrate. If you ever have any questions about what your team volume is, I'm happy to tell you what it is. It really, just know that if you have a high personal volume, you're probably going to have a high team volume as well. But when so I said we have on that home screen in your Coach Online office, you've got your PV, projected PV. You want it to be at least 500, but I would like to talk to you specifically once you send that message about what your goals are and what it really should be. But at a minimum, it should be 500 a month. And then we want to talk about team volume, which is that chart. You're going to have your carryover left and right. Your strong leg isn't necessarily going to be your team leg. And I'm learning that now that I've kind of grown. Your strong leg's not necessarily going to be your team leg. And your weak leg's not necessarily going to be that leg that your spouse is on. Your strong leg is whatever leg has the most volume. Doesn't matter who's over there. Whatever leg has the most volume is your strong leg. And then the other is your weak leg. Each month, that turns over. So your second goal, besides 500 PV, if you are an Emerald coach and want to cycle, and again, this is a minimum, and we're going to talk specifics to you once you share kind of where you're at. You want your weak leg a minimum. If we're gonna earn $500 a month, you guys, you want your weak leg each week, your weak to be 300, and your strong to be 600. This will allow you to cycle 3 times a week and earn $42 a week on just cycles. If it's 400 on your week and 800 on your strong, that allows you to cycle 4 times for $56. So if you're doing the one that's, if you're going to focus on 300 at least on your week, that's going to get you an extra $168 a month. If you focus on bumping that up just to 400, that's going to get you $224 a month. So again, this is going to be specific to your actual goals, but it's time to reverse engineer some of this stuff. I've never asked anybody, and Summer told me I was wrong for not doing this, but this is where I get uncomfortable. I've never asked anybody, did you earn a paycheck this week? Because I don't feel comfortable doing that. I've never asked anybody, what is your actual income goal, right? What are you telling your husband you would like to shoot for each month? But without knowing that, I can't help you reverse engineer and do that kind of math. And somebody did that for me probably about a year and a half ago and said, okay, if you want to make this amount a paycheck, this is how much team cycle bonuses you need. Because that's what you can, that's a little bit more controllable, I think. So I would love to help you do that. Those are just some minimums. Now it's Saturday, So your volume, team volume, it updates every Thursday, isn't really going to be a good representation. So if you're okay with this and you want some help, send me what your monthly income goal is, what your current PV is, and then go in and send me what your team volume on your week and your strong leg were for last week. The way you can look at it for last week is you go into monitor my business, then commissions, and then team volume, and you can see it week by week. This is not for me to be invasive. This is for me to actually help you reach those goals, to feel like you're not just floundering, to feel like you know. Because I don't know about you all, but when I have something to shoot for, when I know what I'm like, when I have a goal in mind, I can chip away at it. But if I just say I'm going to help, even saying just I'm going to help 5 people really isn't enough for me. Like I need to know what that looks like. Yeah, so when I have this recorded, when I upload the recording into our group, I'll make sure to tell people to take a listen. And then this is, I know it's a lot. It can get very wordy. But that is my goal, is to really help you level up with that, because you're not here on a Saturday morning just to help people, you guys. I get that. I get we all say we would do this for free, and maybe you would, but I couldn't. Like I just couldn't at the extent that I want to. And you know, she shared for us that, you know, when we were talking and it really hit me, she said, so many of us say we just want to do it to help people, but helping people isn't what makes us show up at the end of a long day to do our tracker when we don't want to. That's not enough typically, to be honest, right? It's typically not. It's really easy, if we don't have any other goals in mind, to just shut it down, even though we want to help people, right? It's that thing that makes you run back into the burning building, is what she said. She said, what is your burning build? What would make you run into a burning building? What are you truly fighting for? And those are those whys that we shared at the beginning of the group. And you guys, maybe you didn't, and it's recorded, so this is for everybody, but maybe you didn't share your why at the beginning of the group. And maybe you still need to do that. But what is going to get you to move forward to not only make an impact, but also earn that income that you are totally here for? Because if you don't see that income growing, if you don't see that result, a lot of times that's where the burnout happens too, because you're spinning your wheels and not seeing a lot in return. You guys are doing an amazing job this month on your posts. I mean, we're super consistent on social media for sure. And I hope that the invites that you're sending, you know, they see that. That's your storefront. So again, we have to keep going. Any questions on that you can think of right off the bat that you want to put in the chat, or even unmute yourself? Again, thank you so much for letting me like fumble through this on this whole PV, TV, all that. But I just said this week, this summer, I was like, I don't like the fact that nobody knows what their TV is. So how do you know what to work for? Whereas you can really take a look at your volume. And to be honest, 100% honest, your TV, what your TV is, does not impact you. It impacts me, right? So that is how much you're going to create as a whole for the team to cycle. So I'm not celebrating that. I'm celebrating what directly impacts you. Directly impacts you. Your coaches, so the coaches underneath you, which is why we want to build 2 people, that impacts you. Their TV, anybody in your downline, their TV impacts you, which is important to continue to build coaches, to build your tribe, to build the community of people who want to do it with you. But PV, that's your customers, and that's what's going to be there, you know, month after month after month. I also want to say, when you're looking at your TV for last week, if it was low, like mine was low, low, low. So when you go and you're looking at it, and I'll put this in the caption of the call too, look back, like just kind of look back other weeks too and see what maybe more of an average is for you, not necessarily what last week's was. I mean, we should know what last week's was, but look at the averages. And we can jump on a one-on-one call, and we can even do a screen share, and we can look through some of those things if you want to too. All right, one last thing, and then I want to let everybody go. System for tracking current challengers. Do we actually, you know what? Do we want to have a thread on this in Rocktober and see what people are doing so that everybody can kind of chime in and see? Because you guys, this is what's important, is helping your current challengers, and as you grow new challengers, not losing the ones you already have. I do two things, and I'll share this, and then anybody can share what they do, or we can go to Rocktober and do it so that we can log off. I have a Google Sheets, so it goes anywhere with me. And it is a list of all my current challengers that are in our group. It's not all of my customers. It's only the ones that have moved forward with our groups. And then any time somebody purchases a challenge pack, I add them to the bottom of that. And I have columns with the date at the top, and I check in on them every single Monday. And I know that seems like a lot because you got a lot of messages in your inbox, but not everybody responds. Most people don't respond. And it's a simple copy and pasted message. Now, I will say I do go through every single person, and if like we were mid-conversation, they don't get a message like this, or if they're struggling with X, Y, and Z, they don't get a, hey, here's a healthy recipe message, right? But those are like the 1/4 of the group. But for the most part, it is, hey, how was your weekend? How can I support you this week? I found these recipes on the Beachbody blog, and I thought they may be helpful for you. And then that gets copied and pasted to everybody because I feel like I'm adding value. If they don't show up, I have people who haven't responded to their Monday message in months, but they keep getting one because I know I can help them. And then I'll be honest, I still do my tracker that day. I didn't always. I sometimes decided that I was going to do a tracker on Saturday instead of Monday because I had those messages out. But now that I'm in this mentorship group, I do my tracker because that's what he tells me to do. So I'm doing my tracker. But I don't necessarily respond to those messages that come in until Tuesday or Tuesday night, or this week it was Wednesday morning. It's okay, you guys, to let them be in there a little bit. That's the beauty of the accountability group. And that's one of the biggest things I'm learning in this mentorship group is not to be tied to your inbox. Not to be tied to your inbox. Yes, they committed to you and you want to help them so badly. But my welcome letter says that I send them that I will check in on them every Monday, and that they should post in the group for support and accountability as well. So if they're not getting an answer from me, they should post in the group. That is what that's there for too. So I do, and I don't hear, I know people probably don't love that, but as you build your organization, it's going to be hard to keep up with it all. And that's what the group is there for. So that's kind of how I track my current customers. And that's how I track them. And then how I reach out to them. I also started this last month. I have 2 different sheets. It says at the top of the one sheet, it says September new challengers and September new coaches. And I just write them, like handwrite them. And I have one for October challengers and October new coaches. And I have them pinned on my bulletin board that sits above my desk because I want to focus more heavily on those people because they're new. So I want their names to always be in my focus when I start to do my work so that I can send them messages because they're going to get more of my attention than somebody who signed up 7 months ago that barely responds to me, or somebody who signed up 7 months ago and is really, really self-sufficient. Because it is very apparent that the sooner somebody gets started, whether or not they're a coach or a challenger, the sooner they get started on the right foot, the more successful they're going to be. So I want those 2 months right in the forefront of my mind all the time. Because when you're hitting Success Club every month, which you all are going to do when you're hitting Success Club because you're consistently inviting and posting, and when you're consistently adding new people, your challenger list grows really super fast. and it's really easy to lose people. And so those 2 people or those 2 months, I want always in the forefront. If it's not a challenge pack, if it's a tub of Energize, they still go on there because I want to know how their Energize was, how they liked it. I will say I've also gotten the habit of sending emails when I see, this is not something I did. So Wednesday is when I send my lead emails, when I send an email to my leads that I get for the month. And I don't get as many leads anymore. There's not the leads aren't there as much. But what I also do is I check my orders. And if somebody ordered Energize and it's shipped out, even if they've had it for a while, I always send an email on Wednesday saying, hey, I saw your Energize shipped the other day. Did you get it yet? Are you still loving it? So that's something that I've implemented about like residual customers whose orders have continued to just come, keep going. I still make sure to reach out to them to make sure that they like it, or their bars or whatever it might be. All right. I will get this recorded, this up, and I will put that in the captions. But if you want some help reverse engineering those goals because you want to know what you're shooting for, I'm happy to help you. Have a great weekend, guys. Unplug. Amanda, feel better. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Krista.
Yeah.